Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's event. I'm really excited about this one. And today we're diving into template SEO, a strategy that helped Coupler.io go from 0 to 10,000 product signups without hundreds of blog posts or backlink campaigns. And to walk us through this brilliant strategy, I'm thrilled to welcome Dennis, marketing lead at Railsware, Coupler.io, and Mailtrap. Hi, Dennis. It's great to have you here.
Hi, Olga. Thank you. Nice to be here too. And thank you, everyone who joined us.
Absolutely. And now for those of you watching, we'll have the Q&A session at the end, so feel free to drop your questions in the chat during our talk. And yeah, we'll try to get to as many as we can. But let's kick things off with your story, Dennis. You lead marketing at 3 companies, if I'm not mistaken. It's Railsware, Coupler.io, and Mailtrap. How did you get here, and how do you really manage all three?
Yeah, okay. So two major tricks. The first one, it's the same company. The company is called Railsware, and the company builds 3 products. The first one is Mailtrap.io, that's email sending platform. Another one is Coupler.io, the one that we will talk about today in details, right? Because the case is for Coupler.io. And
Yep.
the third one is Titan Apps brand. That's the productivity apps for Jira. So the same company, 3 different products. Each product has its own great team, its own great leaders, and I'm just here taking the credit for the great job they done.
Oh, that's nice. I don't think I've heard about that last one. Did you say it was
Yeah,
Titan
Titan
app?
Apps. Titan Apps,
Okay.
that's the specific market for Jira. Jira has the marketplace of add-ons, very
Okay.
interesting niche, and we have a couple of our own add-ons there on the Titan Apps brand, umbrella brand.
So it's great to know how to develop apps, I believe. Then you can work on your own. Okay. So we're going to talk about template SEO. That's an interesting term here. And for those hearing this for the first time, what is template SEO and
Mm.
how can SaaS companies use it to drive traffic and signups?
Mhm. So you can think about template SEO in 2 ways. The first one is the narrow. It's like targeting keywords that has template in the phrase, right? The most obvious example is email template, landing page template, website template, and so on. But the wider understanding of template SEO, and I think that's the one that we followed at Coupler, is attracting traffic in general with the help of templates and converting traffic into customers with the help of templates. In this
Mhm.
case, you don't just target template keywords, right? You can target a much wider uh, list of keywords, but still templates help you to make your content valuable. Because of the template, it helps you to satisfy the intent of the user, of the searcher in the web, and it helps you to convert the visitor into a sign up and into the purchase later. So template
Mhm.
SEO is for getting traffic and converting traffic into customers with the help of some materials.
And where did this idea come from? Did you try it already before, creating such a content, or was it new? Maybe you've seen competitors doing it, how did you get to it?
Several factors. It wasn't like just an idea out of nowhere. Several factors. The first one was the fuck up that we had at the product. So we were targeting at Coupler in terms of SEO a lot of keywords that are connected with other companies and other software. First of all, Google Sheets. Google Sheets is the product by Google, right? And
Uh-huh.
um, at some point, Google started ranking for lots of keywords related to Google Sheets, and previously we were ranking there, and we were ranking for a lot of keywords around Excel, and Excel belongs to Microsoft, and there are lots of content on Microsoft.com, and so on and so on. So we were hit hugely by one of the Google updates. We lost a lot of traffic because we heavily relied on other companies and other software. So we are thinking what to do, how to switch the strategy and so on. The second reason for starting this campaign was we had to improve the conversion on the blog, and we were thinking, okay, how do we convert traffic? How do we convert people from visitors to the blog post to the to the customer at the end. And also it was a product input from the product team, product development team. They also were working on the improving of the onboarding process at the product, on the conversion inside the product. So it was like the collaboration of marketing and product development, probably with product development leading the process. Let's build dashboard templates for our customers, and we instantly knew how to use them for getting traffic, for converting traffic, and so on. So it was like a complex problem at the product, at the marketing team, and we solved it with this campaign templates.
I just want to share quickly the template example, like one of the template examples that I just took from your website, Coupler.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that everyone can see it in a chat. So if you guys can see, just write something. If not,
one you shared, that's the template that is built directly in Coupler.io in the application in Coupler.io product. But we launched them just a couple of months ago, our visualization tool at Coupler.io. The campaign started with templates for tools like Looker Studio, Excel. We had templates for Excel. We had templates for Power BI, and maybe some other destinations for your data, Tableau, for example. So the major success and 10,000 of signups we got not from our own visualization tool, but from templates for other products like Looker Studio.
So I have a question. Well, people apparently cannot see the template, but okay, that is interesting because I just shared it in the comments section.
I can share. Okay.
So I went to comments and I just I can see my message, but apparently Nazar is saying he doesn't. Okay, it's app.coupler.io/templates we have here. Okay, I think Alyssa can see it. Okay, hopefully you guys, okay, thank you. Thanks, Irina. Great, so moving on. And what was the first template that really worked for you? Do you even remember what was the first one that you created?
One of the first, definitely, probably, maybe it wasn't like the very first one, but one of the first were the PPC multi-channel dashboard template. It was the idea came from our internal expert in PPC. We have PPC expert at the marketing team. It was his idea to combine different ad platforms, data from different ad platforms on the same page. For example, Facebook ads, Google ads, LinkedIn ads, Twitter ads, and blend their data for unified report. It worked pretty well in terms of visitors, signups. The conversion rate was high from the very beginning. It remains the highest across all 100 templates. And we had a couple of, through the year, as we were doing those templates through the year, we had a couple of viral posts on LinkedIn about the template. Yeah, so that was one of the first templates and still the biggest success.
Yeah, that's amazing. So then you stopped and you were like, okay, that is big. And let's build another 100 templates that you now have across different use cases, right? And that sounds like a huge effort. And how did you guys pull that off? Like how much time that require, and like what is the workflow for building all of those in general? Like how many people took part in it?
Yeah. So at the very beginning, we learned probably the hard way that it doesn't work when you just ask a BI team or data analytics team, okay, build us a report about Facebook ads. We did that. We tried it with one or two reports. Didn't work well simply because they were beautiful dashboards, super nice visualizations, lots of data, but it didn't make any sense for marketers who were the end users of the dashboard template. So we had to change that, and we changed it to build in the requirements for each and every dashboard by marketers that we had at the company. As I already said, we had a PPC expert, we have an SEO expert, marketing managers, content marketers, and we started with getting requirements from them and then passing them to the BI team, who are just finalizing the report, saying us, this is possible, this is not possible. So the dashboards were the result of collaboration of BI team, who are doing the visualization and data automations, and marketers, in-house marketers, who are building the list of requirements for each and every dashboard. Then we quickly ran out of ideas, maybe out of knowledge with our internal team. So we had to go around, and we are cost deving a lot. So we were just reaching out to the network, asking people on LinkedIn, how do they report on marketing? How do they report on SEO, on PPC? We were gathering requirements from the audience, from customers. Then we started getting feedback on our templates. People are asking for very specific things like, can you add this to that template? And we were turning it into a separate report, and so on and so on. So 3 sources: internal knowledge, customer development, and feedback from real users of templates.
What about SEO perspective? Like, were you basing your research on any keywords?
Mm. Yeah. So in general, we can promote those templates in a couple of ways. Obviously, there are keywords like marketing dashboard template, PPC dashboard template, and so on and so on. But the volume for those phrases is pretty low. There might be a lot of them, but the volumes aren't that high. And we were much more ambitious. So what we did, we are just targeting more general keywords without the word templates, like marketing analytics, for example, Facebook ads analytics. And we are just building the content around the templates. For example, when users search for Facebook analytics, lands on our blog post, it's not just best practices, tips, tricks, how to, and so on. We share the template right away. We say, okay, you can install this template in like 2-3 minutes, and here is how you can use it. And we break down all the reports by specific charts or scorecards or tables, and we tell them what to look at and how to use. Not always, but in most of the cases, we tell readers, users, what actions they can do after checking their data, their real data on the dashboard, how they can apply this knowledge to improve, I don't know, conversion rates for Facebook ads, or how to drive more traffic from search if it's about Search Console. So we are
Yeah.
writing general topics, but we are writing content around our templates.
So it's like they don't know when they're coming to a blog article, they don't know if they need that template just yet. And then they discover it right within this article.
Yeah.
So that's a smart approach by kind of like building pipeline and getting more eyeballs to this article, and then trying to convert, because lots of people they're unaware of those templates, that they even exist, right?
Yeah, that's why volumes for template phrases aren't that high. Obviously, we did target and directly those marketing dashboard templates, keywords, and even more specific keywords like, I don't know, YouTube report template and so on. We did that, but it's like, I don't know, maybe 15-20% of all the traffic that is coming to those templates on Looker Studio or inside our application and so on. So, and also we had a lot of content before we started those templates. We had, I don't know, a couple of hundreds of articles already. So we also did a lot of rewriting of the articles from, again, general ideas, general recommendations. We are changing content into template based, if you want, making articles more unique, more valuable, and changing the conversion rates for all their content as well.
Yeah, I'm just sharing. Okay, I think I've shared the wrong link right now with It's missing
It's the right link,
words.
but it was the link to template built in Coupler IO visualization tool, and
Yeah,
I
so
can
zero,
actually share.
zero, yeah, no, it's fine. I think I've shared it well. So it's a zero automation, right? So if you guys just check this link out, it's an article, right? And it's got this, well, pretty generic keyword, let's say zero automation. And then if you scroll down, it has the call to action to actually download the template. Check out the template, edit the template and do like all things around it. Okay, so let's just zoom out a little bit. You mentioned that before the templates, you've had plenty of articles on the blog. Can you just kind of like tell us what the blog looked like before you dived into this, template SEO strategy? What were your priorities?
So again, I started with the fuck up, right? When we relied a lot on other people's software, other companies' software like Google Sheets and Excel and Looker Studio. So we are writing a lot of content about those software, how-to guides, I don't know, again, best practices, tips and tricks, and so on. How to start using them, how to build this report, how to build that report. That was part of the content. Another part of the content were about satisfying direct intent of Coupler users, potential Coupler users. So what is Coupler? Coupler connects data from different data sources like Search Console, for example, Google Analytics, Facebook Ads, your CRM, your financial tools, and moves this data wherever you prefer, Google Sheets or Tableau or Looker Studio as a dashboard. And so second type of the content that we had was like integration guides, how to connect Facebook ads to G Sheets, how to connect Facebook ads to Looker Studio, and so on. Those were two types of the content. We started targeting wider topics as well: marketing analytics, marketing reporting, PPC analytics, SEO analytics, and so on and so on. It worked okay in terms of traffic, in terms of conversion, but still we felt that we should get much more signups, even from the existing traffic. So that was the reason to start building those templates, because we were thinking like, okay, people are searching for getting their data from Facebook to Google Sheets, and in that case, they will like assume that their real need isn't a guide or an article. They don't want to read the guide. They don't want to read. They need data in Google Sheets. And we are thinking about, okay, what is the fastest way to satisfy this intent? And the fastest way was a template that they can install in 2 minutes. So they can read an article for 2 minutes, or they can install a template in the same 2 minutes. And
Save time.
installing a
Yeah.
template is much easier than reading an article and following all the instructions, because those tools are pretty complex, even though they don't require an engineer or a data analyst, right? But it's still a lot of work around data. So our templates allow users to skip this hassle with BI setup, BI DA setup.
Now that you have more than 100 of templates and you can use them obviously in your blogs, how do you decide which blog article to write next? Do you necessarily make sure that you can include template like this, link to download a template to it?
Actually, I don't quite like the prioritization in SEO, because usually the prioritization of content in SEO, because usually the average SaaS needs to cover all the niche. So my approach as an SEO, right, as a content marketer, my approach is you have to cover everything that is related to your product. And usually that's like 100 topics, 150 topics. So if you focus too much on prioritizing what to deliver this month, you might lose on the velocity of your content. It doesn't matter what you write this month. It matters how fast you cover 150 topics and how fast
Mm-hmm.
you will start getting traffic from those topics. So
That's an
velocity,
interesting approach. Mm-hmm.
yeah, velocity was much more important here. But at Coupler we had to prioritize. At Coupler we had to prioritize because Coupler works for many different audiences. It's a tool that can be used by marketers, and there are lots of different marketers, right? There are SEO, there are PPC, marketing managers, and so on and so on. And each every of them can use Coupler.io. So tons of niches inside marketing analytics. And also Coupler can be used by finance experts, by sales teams, by product development teams,
Mm-hmm.
even by engineers to connect different data sources. So prioritization was needed. Was mostly done um, on the conversion rates of previous articles and dashboards. We keep analyzing how people convert from different dashboards, and we keep promoting, obviously, those dashboards that convert the best, and we keep writing articles on topics that converted before. Also, we were monitoring, first of all, not the directly attributed signups from an article or even from a template, but we are checking the product data on what Coupler.io customers are actually using. For example, we had a bunch of articles, not a lot, about 10 or 20 articles about Power BI, and we had a couple of dashboard templates for Power BI, and we are experiencing the increase of paying customers inside Coupler.io who are getting data from different sources into Power BI. And that's how we knew, okay, it works. Our articles are working, our templates are working, even though we didn't see directly attributed signups in Google Analytics, either for articles or for templates, but we are seeing paying customers, and that's how we knew it worked, right? So if we were judging just by the J4 data or templates data, we could probably stop the 10, 15 articles, but we are seeing first-party data that we are having customers who use Power BI. So that was the sign as well to invest in this direction. Obviously, volume, you always want to get more traffic, and then you target niches or topics with higher traffic potential.
Yeah. I'm thinking, a Coupler.io is a dashboard-heavy space, right? I mean, in terms of keywords, people are looking for dashboards, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's still about analytics, and people are interested in learning more about, okay, what kind of dashboards they have. So template SEO feels like a natural fit here. Do you think, because we have people listening to us from all sorts of industries
Yeah,
and
sure.
SaaS and niches, that this strategy could actually work in some other SaaS niches? Maybe you could give us some examples. I know I've been working at one of the companies that actually build their entire content marketing around templates, but curious to hear from you.
That's a good question. I think why it was such a great decision for us to start building these templates. During the last year, a lot of happened in terms of AI content, right? And just generating content in different formats, articles, landing pages became really easy and cheap. Even if it's like human written content, still the content writer can use AI tools and can deliver more than before. So competition increased seriously, and then there is the question: okay, how do you stand up in this competition? Do you have to just outnumber your competitors all the time, like deliver more articles, build more links, and so on. So templates, one, as for me, templates is one of the solutions for this AI content. How to beat pure AI written content, and it might not be for everyone because obviously there might be niches products where it's impossible to build a template, right? I don't know an example in my head, but I believe there might be such products. But and if it's if you are working in one of these niches where templates are really hard to deliver, then just go and think about something else. Think how to add something else to your content, to your article. It might be, I don't know, an interview with an expert. It might be a quote. It might be a unique data that you just share in your article, first-party data, proprietary data that can't be copied by the AI and can be received from AI. So if it's not templates, then just think about some other formats.
That's right. But you still write blogs, right? Like you still produce content for the blog.
Yeah.
Can you maybe guide us through this blog production process these days? How do you research the demand for that? So, maybe a particular keyword or that a particular topic, and how do you approach actually creating content now that you're saying, AI is all the rage and creating content is becoming less difficult. Let's put it this way.
Okay, I have another case from another product at our company. It's for Mailtrap.io. We've started blogging at Mailtrap in 2019, as I remember. Yeah, probably 2019. And Mailtrap is a tool for developers, first of all. And a lot of content on Mailtrap blog is for engineers, guides, tutorials for engineers with code samples. And we had to get those code samples somehow. Content writer, no matter how great it is, can't deliver a code sample, a proper code sample, right? You can't just go to Stack Overflow, copy it, add it to your article. So we had to build the cooperation between writers and engineers, software engineers. So this, and then later, a couple of years ago, when we were launching marketing at Coupler.io, we applied the same principle there, where content writer, before writing or even before starting the research, has to talk to someone who is an expert in the topic. Writer might go and read about the topic, right? For example, marketing analytics, writer can go and find some tools, can go and find some questions, maybe come up with an article outline. But before starting the actual writing, content writer has to talk to an expert, validate ideas, ask questions, maybe we have some use cases at the company, or maybe an expert had use cases before, and so on. So during this, we call them knowledge holder interview, and almost every article that we publish on our blog is supported with such an interview. And then after the writer finalizes the content, the same knowledge holder checks it one more time, leaves comments, maybe adds something more. So the content that we deliver, it almost never just a content writer. It's usually a collaboration of content writer and someone else who is an expert in the topic. So
That's an amazing
that's the most
approach.
important part.
But do you see any difference it makes in Google search, for example? Like, would you say that these specific kind of articles, they deliver better results compared to, some that don't have that expertise?
Recently, a lot of people noticed the huge drop in traffic on, I don't know, I won't name them, but two very big sites in marketing niche. One CRM
We
and
know.
the keeping tool. Yeah. So
I
they
think,
lost a huge amount of traffic, like millions of monthly visitors. Uh, there are lots of explanations, but for me, one of the explanations, like a lot of people talking about them writing for topics that aren't directly related to their products. But I
Their
also see,
topics. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. But I also see another problem that most of the content that they had, it was just the plain text. It was nice text, right? It was nice copy, nicely written, nicely researched, but it was still the content that is the same content that ranks number two, number three, number four, and so on. So it was the content that is available in any other article.
Hmm.
Lots of keywords, lots of headers, nice visualizations, nice charts, and so on. But they struggled with making it unique, and it was super easy to copy this content. And today, I actually see less and less. Well, maybe not less and less, but I see more and more articles that different in some way. And I even see our competitors doing not templates, but doing really great things like adding experts quotes or adding benchmarks. Benchmarking
Hmm.
is actually another great idea how to make your article unique. So do a simple research, maybe a short survey, ask people about their conversion rates, add it as a statistics, add it as a quote, and it will already make your article unique. And I see people feedbacking that they like reading articles like that, and it's really important. So we are also users of Google, right? We search something every day, and it's annoying to see the same phrases, the same keywords on topics that are interesting for us. But when you see a real human being with a picture and two, three sentences about something from them, it makes the content more unique. And I see more and more articles in top 10 like this, not just
Hmm.
plain text, but something unique.
That is true. I was about to ask you about competitors. Would you say that once you've started seeing success with, templates SEO, that your competitors started repeating your strategy?
Um, that's a good question. That's a good question. So we weren't unique with dashboard templates. We weren't unique with that. There were both competitors who started doing it before us, and there were standalone, let's call them projects, that were simply built around dashboard templates. There are people who are selling templates, so they
Right.
don't have a product or anything, they just sell templates. So the niche existed before. Mm, After we did it, maybe if a lot of people copied some of the topics, some of the dashboards. That's completely fine. We also do the research of what is available on the web, right? People are building different types of pages, both blog posts and landing pages. So competition is growing, I would say, every day. Data analytics is a big industry with a lot of companies targeting the same audience, proposing very similar solutions in different ways, but still covering the need for insights based on the data. So competition is growing every day, and templates is just one of the areas where competition is really high. There are more than 30 companies that are quite similar to Coupler, and the 20, 30 companies more that are slightly different but still compete in terms of the marketing.
So there's a lot of work for you, even with all the success you have with templates
Yeah,
SEO right now.
yeah.
Uh, so one of the questions I had is for someone trying template SEO for the first time, for example,
Mhm.
any mistakes that you could think of that people could avoid?
Mhm.
Maybe something you've seen not working when others trying to
Yeah.
copy the strategy.
Um, Probably there are a lot of things, but one that is important for me personally is don't try to fake it. Don't try to fake the template that you have.
Hmm.
Uh, Build the real thing. The reason why this campaign is successful, it's not just it's not because of the traffic that we got to the templates. We got traffic
Mhm.
to blog, then to templates, and so on. It's successful because we got signups and purchases from those templates. And the reason we got signups is because those templates are good. People really need them. We asked people how do they report. They told us, and we turned it into a template. So don't try to deliver something that looks like a template and it doesn't a template. So think about how much time your users or visitors will need to actually use this template. Because a little bit of criticism from me, I can see it working on LinkedIn, and I see it daily. People sharing a screenshot of something and promising a lot based on this screenshot, but without any template, any link, and I look at the screenshot and I understand how much work should be done to actually build a report like this. And I understand
Yeah.
that it's probably close to impossible to get a report like this, but it attracts a lot of attention on LinkedIn. And I understand that it works on LinkedIn, but it won't work in SEO, it won't work in content, and it won't convert because simply people cannot use it.
By the way, speaking of LinkedIn, do you guys publish your templates on LinkedIn, similar to like, this influencers do, like, comment template and, we'll send you.
Yeah, we are guilty a little bit of that. We did it a couple of times. Some cases were really, really successful. We got a lot of attention, a lot of impressions, lots of signups, and so on. Some fallen flat, and we do it from several profiles, from several people, not just from products profile, and not just from one person. Several people are doing that. Interesting that sometimes the LinkedIn post that didn't get a lot of impressions, a lot of likes, and the engagement actually gets installs 3, 4, and gets feedback. Like people write, for example, I had posts where 4 people wrote back to me asking, "Okay, I got this data. Is it correct or is it wrong? Should it be like this? How do I use it?" And so on. And then you start a real conversation with a real person, and it's like hugely valuable to
Hmm.
get even one reply like that, because you know that people installed it, you know that you did something correct, and those templates are free, they don't have to pay right away. Mm, so yeah, it's
Yeah.
really important to share them. And in this on this regard, LinkedIn is much more closer to human connection than a blog post, because people rarely feedback on blog posts, but they
Yeah.
do that on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. And I mean, LinkedIn is full of salespeople and marketing people, right? That's where everyone hang out these days, basically. And they're likely to see a post, and it's super valuable, right? The template is, and they can really simplify their life with it. So why not? One of the questions, so again, you have this 100 of templates, and do you have to somehow update them on a regular basis, or is it sort of like once and a done deal?
Mm, yeah, we do update them. We actually deliver in really, really soon, maybe next week, next 2 weeks, a new design to all of them.
Mhm.
So they will look much, much nicer. We are focused on, but first of all, we are focused on our internal Coupler IO visualization tool. So we delivered lots of templates for Looker Studio. We are moving them to Coupler IO dashboard. I call them coupler dashboards because we have coupler dashboards in Looker Studio, in G Sheets, and then we have coupler dashboards in Coupler. So we'll deliver a lot of templates there. They are much faster than Looker Studio. People complain about Looker Studio being slow a lot. That's why we built our own visualization. It's much faster. As for me, it looks much better. It will be much more flexible in terms of the size of the data you can send there. So follow my LinkedIn to, yeah, I spam here and there with new templates there, you will be the first to check them. So yeah, we do update them. We get feedback on specific needs, and we might copy the same dashboard but with a small tweak, and also share it. So it's never ending process.
We're going to include your LinkedIn profile, the link to your
Thank you.
LinkedIn profile in the follow-up. So whoever's been listening to us today, you guys could follow or connect with Dennis. And maybe if you have some questions also after this
Yeah, we'll
event,
be
feel
happy
free
to.
to, feel
We'll be
free to
happy to.
reach out. So another question regarding your tool stack, any particular tools that are your favorites in terms of content or SEO, or maybe some kind of performance tracking that you guys are using?
Lots of them. Probably the biggest one, definitely the most expensive one, is Ahrefs. I'm a
Yay!
fan. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Ahrefs. Started using it when it only had the backlinks data, and so their growth and development. It's still number one tool for link building, for content research, for analytics. We do a lot of automations into the spreadsheets. I would say Google Spreadsheet is the tool number one, and those automations are usually done by Coupler. So we promote Coupler and we use Coupler. Coupler powers lots of automations for us. We connect data from sources like keyword tracking, right? We track positions of our articles, of our landing pages. We pull those positions into Google Sheets, and we want to understand if those pages convert or not. So we get conversions, signups, and purchases from GA4. It's all powered by Coupler. My recent findings is ClearScope. It's really nice, helping. I prefer it to a lot of other competitors. Two tools like this, ClearScope for me looks very professional, very clean, and doesn't push you into AI content generation. So those are the most important tools, I would say. For me
Yeah,
personally, I still consider myself an SEO and for teams on all of our products.
thank you. One of the last questions I have before we jump into Q&A session. So for those watching today, and people are excited to try template SEO, what's one thing they could do, let's say this week, to get started?
Start by checking keywords. I don't know, keyword tool IO or keyword planner or Ahrefs, whatever you use for keyword research. Start adding the word template to your traditional queries, to your traditional keywords. If you don't find anything, start thinking about, okay, what can be templatized, what can be turned into a checklist. I don't know, maybe it's not a template, maybe it can be a checklist.
Yeah, it's got to
Check the
be.
recommendations you give in your content, like your best practices, your tips and tricks, and think about how can I turn it into an approach that can be shared and can be repeated by someone. So that's what I do.
Definitely. It's a nice conversation about, content updates, because there's argument going on between people who think that content updates don't work anymore and others who say they do. I think the answer is, again, you gotta do it right? If you do it right, then
Yeah.
content updates still work. That's
Sure.
definitely. Okay, so that was incredibly insightful, and thank you, Dennis, for
I hope so.
sharing
Thank you.
the strategy. Yes, it was super transparent, super straightforward. So thank you very much. And I just wanted to turn to the audience. Guys, if you haven't already, please drop your questions in the chat. I hope you have some, and we'll get to your questions. And let me check. Okay, fantastic insights. We're having some great feedback. Thank you, Dennis. So one of the questions we have is, what frameworks ensure personalized, conversion optimized content that AI cannot replicate? So, in other words, how
Oh,
do you create content that AI cannot replicate? I think you touched upon it a little bit, but maybe we can just dive
yeah.
a little more into
So
that.
I don't know if I can say something more. Just to repeat, think about unique things that your competitors can't repeat. Like templates are really hard to repeat. Interviews are really hard to repeat or fake with AI. Like AI can provide you with an interview, right? But it won't be an interview with an actual person.
Yeah,
So interview with an actual person, a quote from an actual person, a story from an actual person with some numbers. So those things are really hard to fake.
definitely. Human approach is getting more valuable these days, because so many robots around us, robotic content, robotic comments all over. So another question we have is, do you have any recommendation for beginners in Coupler? So now that's to you, the product question, how easy it
Mm.
is to start using it.
Mm. The easiest way to start using is just mm, connect your data to the template. All the templates have dummy data. You can open the dashboard, click on filters, see how it works, how it loads, and there is a button connect your data, so you can connect the data that you have. Search Console, Facebook Ads, or Google Analytics, or something else. And you'll have a real dashboard. It will be automated by Coupler.io. It will be most probably powered by our free plan. It will be updated depending on the type of the dashboard, daily or weekly, and you can just use it, come back to it every day or every week, and
Mm-hmm.
you already will be much more data driven than you were before. So that's the first step and the quickest way. Then if you want to go deeper, try to customize the report. For example, most of our reports has purchases and purchase revenue as conversions from GA4. But if you are in SaaS, for example, you probably have signups and purchases or some other goals. So customize the dashboard by changing the conversions from Google Analytics, and it will be much more valuable. It will make much more sense for you to have this dashboard. So that's like second step, and then someday you can build your own dashboard in Coupler.io.
Do you use Coupler.io for any of your marketing processes for Coupler.io?
Yeah, lots of things. So just combining data from Search Console and Google Analytics is probably the most obvious way to do that. And Coupler.io allows you to craft it in literally in minutes. You authorize Search Console, you authorize Google Analytics, you choose landing page as a dimension, and you add metrics. You choose landing pages. You get landing pages from Search Console, and you get conversions from Google Analytics. That's the simplest report that you can build. It will take, I don't know, up to 5 minutes, and we do use it quite often. But we already covered a lot with automations like this, so it's not like I'm building reports from scratch every day, but I'm opening reports powered by Coupler every day, definitely.
Cool. Another question we have is, does Coupler store data when someone uses templates? So now, see, you got people interested about the product.
Yeah, that's a good question. So most of the product is evolving, right? Product isn't super stable. It's growing, it's evolving. Most of the templates that we have do not store data because they were built when Coupler simply could not store data. So it was a direct connection from Facebook Ads to Looker Studio, for example, or to Google Sheets. Looker Studio, Google Sheets were storing your data. Coupler wasn't storing anything. But now we do have data storage inside Coupler, and we already have a couple of templates that requires data storage to make them more valuable. For example, For example, Search Console only returns data for 16 months, right? And if you want to start accumulating data for more than 16 months, you have to store it somewhere. So Coupler can help with that. So in that case, data will be stored in Coupler. But if we're talking about templates, it's just a couple of templates out of 100 that does store data.
Okay, one more question from Martha. Do you get lots of complaints from people that something is not working with their data automation process in Coupler?
Data is hard. I'll be honest, data is hard, and a lot of tasks do require an expert, data analyst or BI expert, because you might build a very simple report with 5 columns, right? Or you might build a very complex dashboard. So two very different tasks. It's a good question because we do have services at Coupler actually. If you aren't satisfied with a template, if you can't build your own dashboard, you can always ask Coupler services to build either to customize a dashboard or to build a dashboard from scratch that you want. So yeah, we do get complaints, but we also help to resolve them either via support or via services.
And another question, generic question. What's the most efficient and the fastest way to create a content plan for 6 months without repeating the same topics?
I don't know. The simplest way is another great tool that I like, Keyword Tool.io. It's available for free and it's great. So just start typing in phrases that are relevant for your product or for your services, and you'll get tons of ideas. Copy them to Google Sheets, make sure that they don't repeat itself, and you'll have a content plan.
Oh, that is interesting. Actually, I didn't check it out. I gotta check it out. Keyword Tool.io. Okay. One last question from me. So, what's the next for your SEO strategy going forward? So, you've built 100 templates and you've received more than 10K signups this year. So, what's gonna be next? What's your next step? What's your next big SEO strategy going to be?
Few things. We will go by keywords, by more general keywords, even more general, and keywords that have much higher competition. So it will be a long-term investment. Second, we will deliver much more landing pages. We did deliver some, but we didn't cover 100% of all the keywords with landing pages. We will do that. And keep building dashboards. We still haven't covered everything because there are templates for Looker Studio, for Power BI, for Excel, for G Sheets, and so on. A lot of work there. So I would say 3 of this. We will keep building templates. We will keep covering templates with content, and we'll keep building landing pages.
Great. That sounds like a cool plan, and good luck with that. Definitely.
Yeah.
And thanks again, Dennis, for coming here today.
Thank you, Olga.
Joining us.
It was really
Thanks,
nice talking to you.
everyone. Yeah, thank you, everyone who joined us live. And again, we'll be sending a follow-up email with Dennis' LinkedIn and the full recording if you'd like. So keep an eye on your inbox. And yeah, feel free to give Coupler.io a try. As you can see, they have all sorts of dashboards to simplify your data visualization. Also, if you're a SaaS founder or marketer trying to scale with content-driven SEO, you can chat with me. And then see you at our next events. And until then, I hope you guys have a great and productive start of Q2. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.